The Jaguars have made a selection in the first round of the 2023 NFL Draft. At number 27 overall, they go with Oklahoma tackle Anton Harrison. And welcome in. Our coverage on day one is presented by Cadillac, J.P. Shadrick, John Ozier. The Jaguars have added to the offensive line after two different trades back. The Jags had the 24th pick. They moved back one pick to 25, added a couple of day 3 selections. Then they moved back again, traded with Buffalo back to the 27th spot, and added another 4th-round selection. So they're adding up picks on day 3 of the draft, but they come away with a tackle from Oklahoma who has plenty of experience, John.
Yeah, first I'm over here sobbing up my tears at trading back and adding a bunch of day 3 picks. That's awesome. Overall, not a huge surprise they went offensive line. I don't think anybody really had Anton Harrison as the guy because I think people thought they'd be picking 24. But as they slid back, or as they chose to move back, he became logical, obviously, losing Jawan Taylor. And then I would assume the Cam Robinson situation had something to do with this. But overall, it is a move, as we've talked about many times leading up to the draft, JP. They saw last year the value in having 3 offensive tackles who can play. And Cam Robinson's not going to be suspended forever. As he comes back in second half of the season, you have added a guy who, in the event of injury, can play. And somewhere, maybe you can move around and find some versatility out of one of these guys, compete at left guard, or left guard. Overall, it's just a pick to solidify the offensive line as much long-term as short-term.
Yeah, this is more than just a one-year deal. Obviously,
which the draft has to be.
Well, you think about Cam Robinson's situation after this coming season. Jags can get out of him relatively inexpensively if they need to. And then Walker Little's got 2 seasons left on his rookie deal. Josh Wells is a 1-year contract as a veteran. Mm-hmm. So that's not a long-term deal for him. So for Harrison, he's here, and he'll be around for a long time, and you can move him, obviously, different spots if you need to down the line.
And remember what sometimes gets lost in round 1 of the draft, and that's that teams look at the draft generally as the first 3 days where you're going to be able to get immediate help, guys who can contribute, and they assume will be starters by earlier second year, contributing first year. The fact that this draft is considered deep at tight end, deep at corner, deep in some other positions, I think allowed them to go this position in round 1 with the idea of circling back and getting your corner that everybody thought they might take in round 1 in round 2. So, again, many GMs over the years have told me, don't forget, the draft doesn't end on Thursday night.
Press conference coming up. The Jaguars have a selection, and Trent Baalke's at the podium.
Felt we would still get one of the 3 guys that we were targeting, had an opportunity to move back again, but it definitely ended up with a player that was rated very high on our board, a lot of value.
So what is it that you like about Harrison?
Coach? No, there's a lot of things we like about him, obviously. You know, he fits our culture, number 1. That was a big thing for us. As Coach and I have talked about a lot, he's an excellent football player. He can play left side, right side, could potentially play guard, so there's a lot of versatility as well. But that's, we've got a plan for him for sure.
With the reports regarding Cam Robinson potentially missing time due to the suspension, how much did that sort of influence your selection today?
Everything plays into the draft. Everything plays into the pick. But, again, I can't stress enough, our board was set. We knew that there was a pending situation for a while, but our board was set strictly on ability, the value of the player. And we just, Coach and I talked a lot about it, just trust the board. Let's walk away from the first round with a player we really like and covet, regardless of the position. So there were multiple opportunities. If it was that big a deal, we'd obviously made that pick and not traded back. So we feel really good about how the day went. We got a lot of picks to go here in day 2 and day 3.
For Doug and Trent, but Doug, what kind of coaching did Anton get at Oklahoma? Because it seems like that's just such a great pipeline, offensive line to the NFL. How much did that influence, and what kind of coaching has he received?
You can see it in his play. You can see it in his development, and it's, obviously when we get our hands on him and Coach Rauscher gets his hands on him, he'll just be able to continue what he sort of has built and what he's put on tape. And there's a lot of consistency in his game. You love everything about his length and athleticism, how he moves, his strength. All things, as Trent mentioned, that will fit us. And we're just excited for Anton and just getting in that offensive line room, getting around, the other guys in that room, and getting to work.
Trent, I know there probably were some guys still available that you didn't think might be there, maybe like a Nolan Smith or a Joey Porter Jr. at that point, both the tight ends. Was this a hard decision to stay with Harrison, or were you tempted with some of those other positions, some of those other guys, based on your needs?
Again, without going into where we had guys valued on the board, because that doesn't help us long term, we felt really good about the pick, and there was no sense in trying to. We had opportunities to move back some more, and we just felt at that point in time there was too much risk involved. We felt really good about the pick, and Coach and I looked at each other and said, let's make the pick.
Doug, Trent kind of talked about Harrison's versatility to play different spots along the offensive line. He said you guys have a plan for him. Where is the plan for him to start? Start working, because he has to kind of, learn one spot first, right?
Yeah, obviously tackle's the spot, to learn, and we'll get him in here and get him going. The biggest thing is just get him around the other guys and get him in that room, get him with Phil and Coach Washington and the guys, and just start the learning process. But right now tackle will be the first primary spot for him. But as he develops and grows and just see where he can best help us, win games.
This is for Trent. Trent, with the extra draft capital that you have picked up, do you view that as possibly an option to move up a few spots if need be in the second or third round? Yeah,
absolutely. And that was one of the things that Coach and I talked about as the thing was unfolding. We knew we didn't want to make any big moves back. But when the opportunity came to move one back, pick up some draft capital, and then move two back, it was just too good a situation for us based on the way the board sat at the time. Then when it got to the point where we made the pick, we just felt there was too much risk in going any further back, because we had some opportunities, like I said earlier, to move back again. We could hear you.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
I'm the last person that needs a microphone. Number one, how nervous were you when there was that run on offensive tackles early? Number two, I believe this is the first time you've ever picked an offensive tackle in the first round? No? Okay. All right. But first time in a while?
Since 2000, I think it was 2010 draft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Emotions for you knowing that the edge rusher position is so critical, and you guys just said last week addressing pass rush is still important, and obviously there's still 10 more picks to be made for you guys, but knowing you had to go this route.
Well, we didn't have to go this route. There were, like I said, we had some players valued. We stick with the board. The value of the pick is important to us, and that's our philosophy. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's how we set the board. It's not based on need. It's based on the value of the pick, and we felt at that time, when we made the pick, he was the highest valued player on our board. We made the pick.
Trent, does it matter when you set your board? Is it just about their talent, or is it about what you can get now that you know you can't get later?
Well, that's when you get into trouble, when you know that the position group may be thinned out. There's not enough numbers in the draft at, let's say, tackle, and you start moving guys up and pushing their value above what their true value is. We try to set the board, and Coach and I work tirelessly along with the other coaches and personnel staff, really work hard at it, making sure that when we pick a guy and place him on the board, I should say, that the value is right, that we're going to get that type of player when we make the pick. If we pick a player in the first round, we want to look back and say, you know what, that was good value.
Trent and Doug, in terms of Anton as a person, was there any cool story that you heard, any interaction you had with him that stood out to you?
Well, for me, the interaction that we had with him at the combine stood out. Really a mature young man, good head on his shoulders, spoke well about a lot of things, spoke well of his family. That was important to him. That's important to us. So just really felt the culture fit was really ideal for us.
Phil, obviously, been able to go to Oklahoma, watch Anton work out at his pro day. And how big was that for you guys' evaluation, just for him to get those eyes on him up close?
Well, the more you get around guys, you especially get your hands on them and get to feel them, especially the bigger guys, the O linemen, D linemen. There's some value in that when you get the coach there and they can not only feel the power and see them move in person, but then spend quality time with them, several hours on the board, just talking to him, getting a feel for his football and IQ and just his passion for the game. And he's a young man that checked all the boxes for us.
Gentlemen, thank you. There you have it, Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson after the selection of Anton Harrison, the tackle out of Oklahoma at 27 overall. Just over 1,000 snaps in his career in Norman. Only 4 sacks allowed, 33 pressures allowed, a first-team All-Big 12 selection a year ago, John. So he has the accolades. He played 3 years for the Sooners, comes out of Washington, D.C. That's his hometown. And ended up, he's a 4-star prospect going into Oklahoma and then built his career. Now he's a first-round pick coming to the Jaguars. By the way, the Jaguars, as we mentioned, added a 5th and 7th-round pick when they moved back the first time. They added a 4th-round pick when they moved back the second time. So, and as you heard Trent Baalke say, they could combine some of those, see what happens tomorrow to maybe move up in the 3rd and 2nd rounds coming up on Friday. But oh boy, that's a lot of business to attend to in the next couple of days right now on the docket. But the Jaguars, at least right now, they have one player in. It's the tackle Anton Harrison.
Yeah, I don't want to put words in Trent's mouth, but it certainly sounded when he was asked that like there's a strong possibility they will package those and move up, and that was a big reason for the trading back was to give him some ammo in some areas where he clearly feels the draft is strong. I thought some of the key points of that press conference, the versatility that we mentioned before they went to that, he didn't say it much, but they did mention guard in there. You could easily see a scenario where it's Harrison and Walker Little, and then once Cam Robinson comes back, could you move Harrison to guard for 10 games? They'll go with their best 5 in that situation. Right. Yep. So that made a lot of sense, and that kind of lined up with what we were talking about. He'll start at tackle. And then, I think the interesting to me that Trent Baalke said they had chances to keep moving back. He could have been Trader Trent a little more, but they just decided that there was too high a risk to keep going back. It shows me they wanted this kid, and that they thought by the groups that were around them, they didn't think Dallas was going to take him. They didn't take some of the, Buffalo was going to take him. At this point, they decided enough was enough and that they needed this guy, and that it wasn't a Cam Robinson pick. I thought that was interesting what Trent said, that I don't think he would say anything else, but they sent Rauscher out to look at him. Mm-hmm. They were interested in this guy. This pick, I don't doubt for a minute that offensive line, however it was going to play out, would have been the pick, whatever was going on with Cam Robinson.
Right.
Makes sense.
And as he told, it just makes a lot of sense that way, that they've known about the Robinson thing for so long. Even if that wasn't the reason, okay, maybe it's a little bit of the pre-draft process to get your board ready, but it's just part of the process.
And this team clearly believes that you need 7 good linemen and not 5 good linemen.
And they know it because
they
last
don't make
year
the playoffs. Yeah. If Shatley and Walker Little aren't available, I don't think this team's a playoff team. They needed 7 last year. I think they want 7, at least 7 offensive linemen they feel really good about, no matter how you play those out, and that's this guy.
All right, so Anton Harrison is the pick for the Jaguars at 27th overall. Of course, the Jags are done for the evening since Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson walked down the hallway, and it'll be on to tomorrow. 2 picks on the docket, John, for tomorrow. As of right now, we'll see what Trent Baalke and the staff have in mind.
Yeah, it could play out different ways. They could take they now have 3 fourth-round picks, all right in a cluster. I think it's 11 or 12 picks apart. If not, it's close to that. You could theoretically take that and get another pick in the third, or you could take a couple of those fourths, move up. They're picking late in the second, obviously. Mm-hmm. Is there a tight end? Is there a cornerback? A cornerback would make sense. Trading up for a corner, some of these guys slid. I'm not sure what's happened since Harrison got picked. We started to go off the grid. Yep. But should a corner or two start slipping back, could you take those fourth-round picks and go after that guy? Yes. Based on Trent's body language and the way he was talking, I definitely think they can be aggressive tomorrow.
Since the Jaguars have picked Miles Murphy, edge rusher from Clemson, went to Cincinnati. Brian Breezy, the defensive tackle from Clemson, goes to the New Orleans Saints, and the Eagles have their pick in. The Chiefs are on the clock.
But I know we're Jaguars-centric, but that sounds like Joey Porter's still out there.
Yes.
Brian Branch is still out there.
That's correct.
Some other guys still out there. At some point, the quarterback's going to get, it's hard to go through 30 guys to get to where the Jaguars might pick. But could 3 fourth-round picks be packaged to move way up in the second round? We'll see. Some interesting names falling.
All right, Jaguars have a pick in. Anton Harrison, 27th overall in the first round of the NFL draft. A tackle from Oklahoma, originally from Washington, D.C. The Jaguars moved back twice to get to that spot, and it will be a busy rest of the weekend. Well, he's had a fantastic career in Norman. We'll see if he can carry it on to Jacksonville and join this offensive line group. And a busy couple days ahead. 2 picks, as we said, on the docket coming up for Friday. As of right now, a lot of day 3 picks in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th rounds as it stands right now. But Trent Baalke said it. That could change. Thanks to our entire crew. What a busy day it's been, both at the draft party outside before the rain came. We moved inside to finish it up tonight. Of course, check out all the coverage on Jaguars.com. We'll be live after most every pick. If they pick all, 12 of these guys, 13 of these guys, maybe not every pick, but we'll be on more than not throughout the rest of the weekend tomorrow. And then again on Saturday, we'll have, of course, coverage tomorrow, if Anton Harrison is here, of his introductory press conference whenever that is announced. And, of course, check out coverage of the NFL Draft on NFL Network, ABC, and ESPN all weekend long. For our entire crew, I'm JP Shadrick. Thank you for watching. Anton Harrison, the tackle from Oklahoma, the pick at number 27 overall.